Hello, welcome to an unknown name segment so far. I'm your host, Hunter,
And I'm Riley.
and today we're going to be talking about a very bad 80s movie, Garbage Pail Kids, for our very first episode of this.
Yeah, let's get started.
I don't think he even knew this movie existed.
I did not. I have no idea what the Garbage Pail Kids are.
I collected some of the trading card game as a kid, and I know this movie itself from our Lord and Savior, Nostalgia Critic. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows who this guy is, but
Not really. But I'm not very up to date on stuff.
it's a bad. Garbage Pail Kids is a bad children's film in 1987.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
It was a very hard movie to watch, and it was supposed to be kind of bad to watch in the sense that the studio gave it a very low budget, and even when they wrote the script, the man who produced it didn't get to look at the final product of it, even though he wanted to. And they said that the movie was not a movie to think about, is a movie to shoot. Just get it on the set, shoot it, and put it in the editing room. So they did not really care about this movie from the get-go.
Yeah, that seems.
And
like
you
a
can
recipe
tell
for
they
disaster.
don't care about this movie from the get-go, from the opening scene with the space intro.
Oh yeah, the space intro.
It is
was
literally
like yeah.
it's just a garbage can on a string, and they're floating in front of a screen.
Floating in space, just like going back and forth across the screen, and it's moving forward, but there's this thruster in the back of it, and it's pointing this way, but it's moving this way through space. So it's just like.
And it's an intro, like it's an introduction for the names of the cast and all that. But what's different is that usually in a movie it'll go like Daniel LaRusso played by Ralph Macchio, like in the opening sequence when the movie is like they're moving over to LA and all that kind of stuff from New Jersey. But in this one, it literally just goes like Wendy Winston. Like, it doesn't say played by.
For the Garbage Pail Kids.
But also just said Dodger.
Like at the top, it said his actual name and then it says Dodger. At the
Only
bottom.
on the card.
Yeah, on the card.
Okay, cause on the card it just said Captain Mazzini. Okay, cause on the card it just said Captain Mazzini.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
The space introduction is very bad though for the characters and all that kind of stuff. It gives away who's going to be introduced into the movie as well.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it like.
Usually in a movie like this, it's like the reveal of what type of characters are going to be inside of it. It's like one of the better parts as well.
Yeah, usually it's just the name.
As a trading card game, there's a vast amount of characters already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The next part of the movie opens up with when it finally goes down from space all the way to Earth is a kid named Dodger, and he is playing in a park when a gang member from the name of Juice starts beating him up and robbing him. And this kid is 14 years old, and this guy is probably in his 20s.
What are you gonna do to me?
And the girl, there's one of the girls, not the main girlfriend, but the other girlfriend to the other goon. She's wearing like a red and black, a yellow and black tank top. She's laughing and she's like ha 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 when the kid's getting jumped, and it was the most overacted thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad too. So mean to it. It's like she's like the muscle. She was the muscle.
She was
right?
the muscle of the group. Ben was watching a little bit of that movie with me, and watching her run, he was like, "Oh, that girl needs to wear a sports bra." Because there was one scene, it was just like,
I didn't pay too much attention to it.
And then there's also the scene where the kid Dodger, like while she's in the shop and all that kind of stuff, she like grabs him, like he's like in between her boobs.
She pretty much put his face directly into her boob.
I don't think the actor was complaining though.
Yeah, it's like she literally just put. There was no like aggressiveness to it at all. She pretty much just like stood in front of him and just put his face in his chest, and then just like waited while the other guys taunted him.
Yeah,
I guess it was something like that. Yeah, it was just That was weird. I don't know.
After Dodger gets beat up though in this first scene by Juice and the rest of his goons, he goes to Captain Mancini's shop where he's like a wizard and all that. And Captain Mancini talks about him.
Yeah, it's a antique shop.
Antique shop
an
run
antique
by
shop.
a wizard.
Yeah, like he says that he's a wizard and stuff like that.
And
supposedly.
Captain tries to give the Dodgers some advice about saying like losing's okay as long as like you concede
with
grace,
with grace, yeah,
concede with grace and all that.
And like the guy's covered in puddle water.
Yeah,
and
because
like,
he's already been
like,
jumped and
breakdowns,
robbed from Jews.
I got in a fight. I lost.
Losing is relative, my dear boy. What matters is conceding with grace.
Huh?
Yeah.
And you feel bad for the kid for a little bit, but then Juice's girlfriend walks by, and she walks by with a group of friends, but then Dodger runs out, and he's like, oh, come inside, Tangerine, come inside and look at this. And she's like, fine, I guess I'll go after her friends are not looking, and walks inside the shop, like, her friends are not going to know she's just out of the group now.
Yeah, it was like she was just like separated from the group without saying it. So like she just stopped. They just kept walking and just completely ignored that she stopped.
And then
It
when
was
she
just-
goes inside the shop, he's trying to like convince her to stay by trying to sell her some stuff. And when she bends over and all that, he's like smelling her hair and like touching
yeah,
her
it was
hand and all.
really
The
creepy.
kid, the kid
And-
got the ass beating he deserved because he's been kind of creepy to these older women.
Juice and his goon and the goon's girlfriend come in, and they start fighting with the kid, and the kid is somehow like kind of. Like
He's
has
actually
he has
fighting
a-
against
he's
them.
actually
Yeah.
fighting.
Okay, it's like a
He's got-
14-year-old fighting against like a couple
Yeah,
20-year-olds.
and he's like throwing things.
He's like using
and,
like a skateboard and
using-
shit to make them a trip.
And yeah, he was like he was somehow like kind of good at fighting.
But he gets
Like,
overpowered
only in
because
the
there's
shop,
cause,
and because but he only gets overpowered.
and
because
while
like-
he's fighting them though, he does get thrown in through the trash can. Like he knocks over.
Wait,
To back up a little bit, I always want to point out there was a really bad piece of dialogue because Captain Mancini. Okay, so he goes into Captain Mancini's shop. He's like, "What happened, boy?" He's like, "Oh, I got into a fight and I lost and all kind of stuff." He's like, "Oh, losing with grace and all that." The moment after he says that, he's walking by a trash can. He's like, "Mancini, why do you let me play for everything like you have except for letting me open up this trash can?" It's like, where's this coming from? Why is this bad exposition that's being pulled out right there?
We'd better clean you up before the flies get to you.
Captain Zinni, why can't we ever use that garbage pail?
How long have you worked for me, boy?
A couple months.
Have I ever forbidden you to touch any of my treasures? This is the one exception.
Yes, sir.
But that's how even the trash can's introduced in a very poor manner. There's
Yeah.
like getting it out. They're like, "Let's get it out there."
Yeah, he's just like, it gets introduced in like the middle of the night. I guess like the Garbage Pail Kids, which you can't see at the moment. It's just like dark, and they're off screen and they're just like giggling and talking and messing around in the shop. And then they hear Mr. Mancini and they hide in the garbage pail, and he covers it with.
No, the
something
the
colored.
Garbage Pail Kids are from the Garbage Pail. I think there's a spaceship. He just used a spell to trap them inside of it.
No, like the first time, but like they got out.
They got
They
out
were
and they pulled them
and
out
they
of the
were
sewer.
Playing, they were playing. No, they were playing in the shop.
They played in the shop after
And
they
then-
saved him because the kid gets when
No,
they're
before that, like right after the space scene, there was like it was them in the shop. It was in the middle of the night, and like you didn't see them. You just heard giggling and stuff like that, and you saw some stuff falling, and
then you trap them in. Maybe he just traps.
and then like when they hear movement, they get scared and they all hide in the garbage pail, and then he just covers it with something heavy.
So why were they
so
flying in a
can't get out.
Garbage Pail spaceship in the start of the movie?
I have no idea. It made no sense.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, they just wanted to get it. They wanted to shoot it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he gets into a fight with these goons, all that kind of stuff. He's winning. He starts losing. He gets thrown to the trash can. He knocks it over. So the lid opens. They take this kid then, Dodger. They throw him in the sewer. Throw some sewer water on him. And
they pretty much knocked him out, and then they carry him down to the sewer, which is just like a tunnel with like sewer pipes. So then they put him underneath one of the sewer pipes and just open the sewer pipes directly on him. Almost directly on him, and he's just like lying there pretty much passed out. and they just
And the Garbage Pail Kids come and save him,
Yeah,
like a
and then the
Mr.
garbage-
Miyagi scene. You know, he's already knocked out, and they come, they pick him up, and they save him. And he wakes up, and they're all there in the shop.
yeah, they're all ugly and stuff.
Yeah,
And he
and the
gets-
Garbage
he gets
Pail
found.
Kids, yeah, they are hideous. And there is
Well, some of them aren't that bad.
some of them are not that bad, but the baby one, the one that has the superhero costume and all that kind of stuff, like Wendy Winston and like Vomit Valerie and all that, like they're okay, but that's
Yeah,
because
like, physical wise, like they look okay.
that's only because their physical features aren't what makes them disgusting. What comes out of their body, it makes them
Well, like,
disgusting.
Valerie is like a normal person unless if you make her vomit, and like you actually have to make her vomit.
Well, no, she makes
doesn't-
herself vomit
yeah,
at the
she
climax.
can make herself vomit. But like she doesn't just like normally vomit like all over the place like Wendy Winston. So it's she's like a normal person
Yeah.
most of the time, but like when she vomits, it's a ridiculous amount.
And
she's
the
like short.
And the costumes, it was a very low budget movie. The producer that made this, the one that couldn't get his hands on the final script and all that, the one actually trying to make a good movie, he wanted to make this an animated movie, but that was way out of the budget for the film. And then he wanted to do like a Roger Rabbit kind of situation where it was like half animated with animated characters with real life people, but that was definitely way out of their scope. So they went with these animatronics, and they put these dwarves in animatronics, so there's plenty of dwarves out to be actors. And when they put them on, the dwarves couldn't breathe in them. So they actually had a time how long the dwarves can breathe in them, which was about 7 minutes. And they would have them rehearse their scenes without the helmets on or the mask. Then put the mask on and go with the EMT on set and start a timer and be like, "Here's 7 minutes. Go shoot your scenes and all that kind of stuff." And see,
Yeah.
like it was a brutal set piece for the 60-day shooting it had. Like it was.
That was only 60 days.
That was a
that's
60-day
That's very
shooting.
obvious from the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very cheap made movie because they had the license. They didn't want to lose the license. They said like, while we still have it, let's just get the movie out and all that.
Yeah.
So once the characters are introduced and all that, they say that their friends have been lost and that they want to find their friends back.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, he's got cute legs.
They go and find their friends. What they do is they steal a Pepsi vans because Grand Theft Auto is the best way to go and find your other Garbage Pail Kids that have been lost in the world somehow.
Yeah.
And then they eat hot dogs.
No, like they weren't trying to. They were trying to have fun. They just didn't want to be in the garbage pail.
But
at
then they
first.
start
But
talking.
They were also talking about how finding their
Okay.
friends. But then they were just like, "We're hungry," and they were outside. They were also talking about how finding their
Okay.
friends.
Yeah,
just
and they
steal
start
stuff,
that,
then they
and
just steal stuff.
the Garbage Pail Kids, they go out for multiple nights in a row, and then from the first night they start going with havoc. They steal from people. They steal.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto. They steal hot dogs. They attack people. It is.
Yeah, they're not good people.
And the movie actually goes nowhere within this point because the moment the Garbage Pail Kids are released, the movie slows down to a snail pace because the exact same thing that happens day in, day out. They go out, they cause havoc, and then when they come back, we find out that Tangerine likes to sell clothes, and Danny and Dodger like follows her to one of her sales where she goes to her dance club and then sells her clothes afterwards.
And then the Garbage Kill Kids to help Dodger
Make clothes.
To help him with getting the girl, they decide to make him some clothes, and then he wears them, and
It
she's
impresses
really
her so
impresses
much.
her that she asks him to make 12 more.
How many outfits could you have for me by, say, Friday night?
Outfits?
Oh, I want at least a dozen. And of course, I can't promise you that I can sell them.
A dozen?
And I just
Like-
wanted to
like a
say,
couple days.
the first time he goes with her to her dance class to go and
It was a club. She was
yeah.
just,
Oh,
like,
sorry.
going, selling
Sorry.
outfits
She was
outside
going
the club.
she was going to the dance club after her class, which makes a lot more sense because when she says that, she starts driving and it's daytime, and when she's done driving, it's nighttime.
Yeah, I know. Like when they put all the stuff in the
And
the
he
back of
jumps
the
in,
car, it's
and he's a
like,
stalker
late afternoon.
because she's trying to get away. She's just trying to go to her her club to sell the clothes and all kinds of stuff.
and
Her
he
class in the
runs up
club.
to her and starts talking to her, but she doesn't invite him into the car.
She doesn't invite him in the car. He just jumps into it. And he's like, "Come on, let's go." And like, I want to go and see it and all kind of stuff. Like, Dodger is just as much of a creep as this girl is going to become.
Where you going with your, stuff?
To the dance clubs. Hey, you want to come along and help me? The dance clubs. Hey, you want to come along and help me?
Tangerine.
She seems nice, and she's
Enough for
she's
the
like,
dater.
Like, come on, don't do that. Don't put don't this isn't right for the doing.
She's always telling her
sewer.
boyfriend Juice
Like,
to
to
not
kinda
beat up the
stop.
kid,
Yeah,
which
and
is like, yeah, come on, you're a 20-year-old. Stop beating up a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Please.
Little baby gonna cry? Wally.
First, she's telling the kid to back off, but before
him
that,
do the-
I also noticed that when she's at the dance club selling her clothes, because Dodger's with her, her boyfriend Juice shows up with him and his little goons and all that kind of stuff, and he's driving this van, and he gets out of the van, starts talking to his girlfriend Tangerine, and Dodger hides clearly because he doesn't want to get beat up again. But after he's done talking to Tangerine, Juice hops into her car and drives away in her car. And I'm like, what the hell? Why did you...
And he takes her money too.
He not only takes her money, but he drives off in the
if
car.
She's a prostitute and he's the pimp.
Like, what happened to the car he was just driving? He literally drove.
No, like he was with his goons. The goons drove the van away, and he drove away with his girlfriend.
I just thought it was weird that like it was like, oh, I'm gonna drive in the scene with one car and drive out the scene driving another car. It's like,
Yeah, no, but like you saw the van.
I did see, yeah.
You saw the van, and like you saw the van follow the car, so you know like that it was a little bit weird.
yeah, Tangerine, she would have convinced me too. She is a very attractive girl, but
Yeah, she
she
is
starts sexually manipulating this 14-year-old boy.
Oh yeah, very much, and she touches her own boob and then touches him, and like somehow that was very.
Well, not only that,
it
she does have that scene where
Yeah,
like,
that
she
she-
like stretches out her legs and like and she's wearing like that purple dress, that blue dress or whatever.
I think so.
That's like the very first
Yeah,
scene when
yeah,
she's like where'd you get that jacket and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
that like she does use her feminine beauty to
And also,
manipulate him.
Also, in that first scene where they're at the dance club, a girl wants to buy the shirt she's wearing, and
Oh.
she just takes it off.
Hey, how much for the shirt? Well, it's sold. Let's go.
Like I understand
no-
why she does it because it's like, yeah, she just
Yeah,
put on
make
our
money.
T-shirt
Yeah, she just-
afterwards.
yeah,
but Dodger definitely
Dodger's definitely noticing, and then she's like, just pass me that T-shirt, and like he
He's
does,
all-
and he's like
after he wipes the drool
he's-
off
yeah,
his mouth.
after
you
he
know?
wipes the drool off his mouth. I'm pretty sure he actually did that. It's like
Hot? Looks great.
Okay, you want to hand me that t-shirt?
that was
But Dodger's
weird.
not any better than her because even though she starts manipulating the sexually manipulating this 14-year-old boy,
he starts manipulating
the Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah, he goes back down to the base when he's like, I need you guys to do this because you guys made the first outfit and it was so good that she needs a dozen more. She actually said 2 dozen more. She was a very bitchy about 2 dozen more outfits.
It was 15, I think, or something. It
No,
was like
'cause-
12 or 15.
Because she was like, if you can't get 2 dozen outfits, maybe you're not serious about this. He's like, no, I'm serious about this. And he's like, why don't you go do this right now then?
So, how many outfits could you have for me by, say, Friday night?
Outfits?
Oh, I want at least a dozen. And of course, I can't promise you that I can sell them.
A dozen?
Well, obviously, you're an amateur.
Well, look, I could try.
You could try. Well, why don't you go try right now?
She used her feminine.
Feminine wiles, and then,
But the moment
and
he
then-
started hesitating, she got real aggressive again.
Yeah, and then she left as soon as he agreed without any more.
And
like,
the worst part,
satisfaction
it's
or
like
anything.
and then I don't know why there's one music scene in this and one musical scene in this whole film, and they did not stress there was going to be any type of musical scene. But when
like the Garbage Pail scene.
yeah, the Garbage Pail Kids start singing about like anything that they can do together. But it's
Yeah.
like they're debating on if they should make the clothes or not while it's just, where did this
Yeah,
come out
and then-
from?
Why should we do something nice? Let's quit now, that's my advice.
And then they find a whole bunch of clothes, and like they're singing about being able to do everything together because like they're supposed to be good guys, but like they're very, very obviously not good guys.
Yeah, and the Garbage Pail Kids, they sneak out at night and they start causing all types of havoc, from breaking
'Cause-
into a movie theater, and they start eating everybody's popcorn and throwing stuff. It's not even that they just break into a movie theater; it's that they are disturbing the peace. They are like they are doing vandalism.
Yeah, like literally, the
There's a list of
gangster-
crimes
the
you can do with
gangster
people.
guy like stabs the guy. Like
He threatens to stab a
lightly.
guy.
No, but like I feel like he like
pokes him?
Like, he pokes him with the knife. He doesn't actually like penetrate or anything like that, but it hurts.
The baby is like, "Are you my mommy?" to everybody. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
just, like,
it.
super
Oh,
creepy.
and the one kid, I forget what his name is, the superhero one. Pissing in itself is not a joke. The way that he
Just
just
the
he just
nerdy
pisses
one,
himself.
he just pisses himself.
It's not even
so
it's not even
much.
like he's getting scared or anything. He just pisses himself.
I think it's a girl.
No, it's a guy. He's all like pimply and he's like a redhead curly
Yeah,
guy
but
and all that.
it's nerdy.
He's like he definitely has a deep like voice and all that.
Okay.
I'm not nerd.
Oh, Nat.
Not only breaking into a movie theater, they steal like a 4-wheeler and all that kind of stuff. They then go into a biker gang where the alligator goes for his foot fetish and keeps trying to bite people's toes.
He literally bites off the guy's toe.
He
goes around and he's like, no, not this one.
Not this
this
one,
one's
yeah.
too leathery. This one's too that. And it's like, ooh, just perfect, and literally bites off a guy's toe.
Whoa. Oh, that is it, yeah. It's toe time. Get out of here, Dad.
And he starts getting into a fight with them, and then Wendy Winston comes in and helps him because he farts in the one dude's face, the bartender's face, and all that.
No,
and then,
it was Wendy Winston.
that's what I'm saying.
And
The alligator.
And alligator that were
and
the
like
two
Wendy
people.
Winston's like fighting a bunch of the bartenders, and he's holding his own. I'm not gonna lie, and all kind of stuff.
They're doing pretty good.
Hey, Wendy. All right, my man. Oh, watch out with that.
Which is like fighting two guys against the whole bar, pretty much.
Yeah, and once Wendy Winston beats out guys, they're like, "Oh man, this guy's with me," and they give him a handshake, and now the bikers are completely cool with them.
Yeah, and they really like them and stuff like that. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, and they completely ignore the guy that with the
The alligator.
Yeah.
But I will say alligator had one. I did have a small chuckle when they were like, "Let's make alligator shoes or whatever," and then alligator was like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "No." I like the way his delivery was with it.
Hey, I didn't know.
Let's make some alligator shoes.
Yeah. No.
Okay, they say later on that alligator is the natural leader of the group, which I did not get that until they said that. Did you feel that?
Well, I did see that he talked more.
I just felt like the guy with the knife talked a lot too. Like I felt
I guess. Yeah,
I just didn't get that alligator was the natural leader, like the guy who's always trying to bite people's toes and all that. The guy
Yeah,
who's like
no,
literally
like-
I feel like it was a writer's foot fetish,
I
written into that
feel
movie.
like the natural leader would be
Wendy Winston, right?
no, the vomit.
Oh, Vomit Valerie.
Vomit Valerie. She seemed to be the driving force.
Yeah.
For a good part of it.
I just like I liked I will say that alligator, because it's alligator.
Yeah.
I will say that he definitely had some of the best lines, especially with that conversation of him being the natural leader when he's like, he's like, "Captain, like you would say you're an educated man, right?" And he's like, "Read lots of books and all that," and like he's like, "Yeah, I'm like quite wise or whatever." And he's like, "You just trusted the words of a talking alligator," and like walked away. And I was like,
Yeah, like
he does have some like.
after he yeah.
Cap, you're an educated man, huh?
Well, let's just say I did my homework.
And you take the word of a talking alligator? There's no time like no time in the nighttime or the daytime.
And I did
After
okay,
he
and I will
promises
say
not to
there
bite
you,
toes.
you can have a list of crimes that these kids did, and if they really are kids, I can't tell if they're aliens or kids or where the hell they are, because it seems like they're aliens.
Yeah, and like they're called kids, but I feel like they're either aliens or they're adults, and they're like the uglies, and they're just like really short and like kind of babyish. So I guess they're
Well, one is an actual baby.
he's not an actual baby. He just acts like a baby.
You think so?
Yeah, he just acts like like he's the same size as the rest of
I
them.
guess, yeah.
And he just acts like a baby and he has a baby haircut.
But I think that there was another funny moment with Alligator, because I think he has the funniest moments out of all of them.
Yeah.
When it's when
definitely.
him and Wendy Winston finally get back from the bar, and then he's acting all like him and Wendy Winston are drunk, and like he's like, "Oh,
they drank a lot.
Hey, hi guys! Killer! What's going on, dude? Yeah! Alright, alright. God, if you like to get down, I'm going to the party, guys. Now just dig your hands off. Dig your hands off.
And if you want to count that as part of crimes, pre-age drinking, all that kind of stuff, like there is underage drinking, all that kind of, that is,
Yeah.
These Garbage Pail Kids, the whole moral lesson of the film is that it's about being beautiful on the inside, not the outside. But these Garbage Pail Kids are terrible people.
Yeah, they're terrible people too. So
they mangle kids. They mangle people. They attack them. They steal from them.
Dude, they're just
How smart are these Garbage Pail Kids too?
Like some of them are smart sometimes, and some of them aren't.
But
like,
how smart? Because they're able to fix an ATV. They're able to make clothes.
Yeah.
Like they're like
I know,
they're
right? Like they're inconsistently smart. Like some of them are like always pretty smart. Like some of them
they can fight.
Yeah.
Like these Garbage Pail Kids can do a lot. Oh yeah, Juice and the Goons see that the Garbage Pail Kids are hiding their 4-wheeler, and at first I did think it was plot convenience, but I guess it's because later on Tangerine does rat them out.
They were outside. Yeah, they were outside of the Tangerine's house is right next to the shop, so like they were like across the street in like a parking lot, and they saw
they saw the gangster one.
The gangster one putting away the more like the ATV, and it was just like they
all three of them were just out at night. Just plot convenience.
Yeah, they were just like it was just and like but they didn't say anything about it until later on. Tangerine.
And what I said about earlier about how the movie goes nowhere, it's because it literally Captain's like, hey alligator, you're the natural leader. You gotta stop having you and your people going out at night and just messing with people and all that. You gotta set an example.
Yeah.
And they keep talking about how they're trying to find their friends, and they're not. They're literally just going outside and doing stuff, and that's what the movie is. They literally just go out at night and do stuff.
They go out at night and cause problems, and then eventually, the captain and Dodger both go and start trying to find.
Yeah, but they only try to find them at the 53-minute mark when the Garbage Pail Kids finally say, "Oh, hey, we actually think our friends are at the state home for the ugly."
We're scared. Yeah. Scared our friends are gonna die.
Well, where are your friends now?
We don't know.
We just can't find them.
We think they might be locked up somewhere in a really terrible place. In the state home for the ugly.
When there is no previous bias for that. They never mention this once. They never go looking for anybody.
They never mentioned this supposed stay at home or anything.
It is terrible. I don't know how they think that they know that they're there. And they stay home from the ugly, the concept itself.
And then the captain says that he didn't believe it at first, and then he saw two.
Well,
he didn't say that. But now
the captain says before, when he lived like a couple of years ago, he wouldn't have believed, like as a kid, he wouldn't have believed there would be a place like this. But now in this day and age, he does, which makes no sense because everybody in the world knows that this place exists. So even the kid saying like, "Oh, does this place exist?" Like.
Nobody knows.
Well, Juice knew existed.
Home of the ugly.
Juice knew existed. The girl Tangerine knew existed because they're like, oh, if they get caught.
But, like the kid didn't know.
Yeah, but I don't know how the kid didn't know.
Like Mr. Mancini.
But the Garbage Pail Kids do. The Garbage Pail Kids do.
Yeah.
And the stay home for the ugly makes no sense in this concept. It's like, oh, if you're too tall, if you're too fat, if you're too ugly, if you're too gross, you get put in jail. They literally guys with huge ass nets going and kidnapping. They were kidnapping a girl.
Kidnapped a girl.
And then she was like, oh no, I'm not ugly. I'm wearing a mask. All that. And they're like, don't wear a mask. It's not Halloween. All kind of stuff. And the guys kidnapping her are not even attractive themselves. They're like some old ass men.
Yeah, and like it's like what? And then later on once you see the inside of the thing, there's literally a clown, and the thing on the thing says "too silly." And it was just a regular clown. It wasn't even like
he had some big ass hands though. His hands were really fat.
Maybe.
Like I'll show the footage. His hands are very fat.
Maybe, but still, it's just like too silly. It was just weird. It was like.
Dodger goes and sells the clothes with Tangerine though, because the only thing that happens in this movie is the Garbage Pail Kids go and do stuff, and the kid sells clothes. So he goes to sell clothes with Tangerine, who then sexually manipulates him even more. And it is bad. She starts kissing up and down his cheek and up to his ear and all that kind of stuff.
You gonna make a lot more of those things for me? I got big plans for us.
Us?
stuff. I was like,
oh yeah, that was.
I was
yeah, that
halfway
really,
off
yeah,
my seat
that-
with like, ooh, this
but
is.
I'm pretty sure she's like supposed to be like 18 or 16 or something like that.
I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but she does not look like. She looks like she's like not supposed to be doing that, you know.
Yeah, and no, it is a very.
And she's
uncomfortable
cheating
thing.
on her gangster boyfriend. I say gangster
But
loosely.
he knows, I think.
He knows in a.
He knows that she is like because like you see her talking to him at one point about it, and he's like helping.
He knows that she's helping her. He's like, I don't like the idea of letting the kid live.
It feels lousy, abandoning my principles for money.
Principles?
Yeah, letting the little creep live.
But it helps you make money. But then later on in the climax, he like pushes her or whatever, and he's like, that's for like leaving the like turning the kid.
Come on. That's from copping out to him.
Yeah, because this girl starts kissing up and down, and that's when it becomes literally like sexual assault. And he's a 14-year-old kid. I don't know how old she is, but she looks like she's old enough to not be like to be in like college or whatever.
Yeah, no, she's like in college or even like just graduating high school, but yeah.
And then the Garbage Pail Kids just blow their cover by running outside. They really don't even care if she sees them.
They just go outside right there while she's there.
She starts calling them gross and ugly and all that kind of stuff, as one would, because they are gross and ugly. Their budget's disgusting.
Yeah, but then
she sees that they can make clothes.
Yeah, she's still really disgusted about them, and Dodger is like telling her about how like the clothes, and she's like, oh, these guys aren't very smart and stuff like that. So she figures out that she can use them too. So she uses them and Dodger.
And the kids are now starting to get mad at Dodger for not finding his friends, but it's like, you guys haven't been finding your friends. Why are you getting mad at Dodger?
So then the next day, Dodger and Captain Mancini follow
follow the people. Yeah. Okay. That actually happened. That actually happens when the little girl is trying to get kidnapped, which I didn't. The backtrack for that, which didn't make sense to me. They say, "Oh man, we can't find the state home for the ugly. It's under a secret place. You can never find it." And all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and the very next scene, they go and they find it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but they can't get inside,
because there's too many guard dogs and guards and whatnot. But the Garbage Pail Kids, because there's too many guard dogs, Dodger just says, "Hey, Garbage Pail Kids, you guys just make this clothes for me and Tangerine's fashion show coming up. And while you're doing that, me and Captain Mancini will try to find a way into the shop. Into the state home for the ugly." And the Garbage Pail Kids are very mad about that and even threaten to mangle the kid because Alligator says, "I'll eat your toes" and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
so these Garbage Pail Kids are not good people. They will even threaten their friends.
Yeah, he says if you can't get inside, then if you don't keep your promise, then we'll eat your toes.
And Dodge, if you pink out on us, I wouldn't want to be your toes.
And so what Tangerine does after they make all these clothes for them is that Tangerine locks them into the basement so they can't go to the fashion show, which they wanted to go to. And in Tangerine's defense, the Garbage Pail Kids said, "Oh, we have a disguise. It'll be fine," all that kind of stuff. And their disguise was literally just wearing like a hospital gown.
We want to go to the fashion show.
Why don't you go out? You might get caught.
No, we won't. Oh. Let go, it's clown.
But the climax is starting with about to start with her locking all the kids into the basement and then telling Dodger to, "Hey, come to the fashion show with me." And while this is happening, Captain Mancini is locking up the shop, and Juice and his goons break in and knock Captain Mancini out with like a spray. They're like,
I missed that part.
You missed that part where Juice comes in and knocks him out, and then
I missed the short second between him getting inside and him knocking out.
Yeah, he knocks out Captain Mancini, and then he steals the.
He was gone.
And then Juice steals the kids.
Yeah, and
brings them to stay home from the ugly.
And then you see Captain Mancini wake up and.
And you see Juice getting the money from stay home from the ugly. So the stay home from the ugly is literally telling people, hey, kidnap these ugly people, kidnap these two tall people, sell them for money, because that's what Juice got was money, and then we're going to euthanize them against their will.
Yeah, and like the way they euthanize them is by putting them in a garbage truck and crushing them to death.
They tell them that they're going to be killed, and Dodger can't do anything about this until Juice goes to the actual fashion show and outs Tangerine for being a backstabber, because Tangerine tells it was the one to tell Juice about the Garbage Pail Kids.
You double-crossed them.
No, you did. I just gave Juice the key.
Yeah, so like, he comes in and like starts kissing Tangerine and like laughing at Dodger because like he got his friends arrested.
And he actually starts to threaten. He threatens Tangerine a little bit because he finds out that Tangerine was putting on the moves to a 14-year-old boy.
Like he kind of like grabs. Her
And not to blame him because that makes her a pedophile. So
yeah.
Well,
not real. It's like a hepophile or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It actually is. But it's wrong.
But Juice tells Dodger to get away from there and all that kind of stuff, so he does, and he runs all the way over to the state home from the ugly, telling Captain Mancini like, "Hey, we need to save the Garbage Pail Kids."
Well, no, but like Captain Mancini is seen being thrown out of the state home for the ugly because like he tried to sneak in and got caught right away.
Yeah.
And
so Dodger says he's going to get some help, and he goes to the bikers from earlier.
Gang, and
he's like, "The little guys are getting hurt."
Are in trouble.
And they all immediately
go out, and he's like,
Guys, I need your help right now. Really, I need your help. The little guys are in trouble.
Captain Mancini actually breaks back in and he beats up a guard. He uses a magic trick and uses kind of like a spark thing against him. He steps on his shoe and punches him.
Magic trick to distract him.
And so while Captain Mancini's inside the state home for the ugly, he beats up a guard, takes his key, starts unlocking all the gates, letting all these people in. One of them being Santa. They have a mythical creature being Santa for being too fat in there.
Yeah. I think it was just like a fake Santa.
Oh,
but like yeah.
And we do need to rewind for a second because there is a scene when Captain Mancini and before Dodger goes the biker thing, Captain Mancini and him drive to the state home for the ugly, and see that there's a trash truck.
Garbage truck.
The garbage truck. The garbage truck is driving past it,
going towards it because like.
It's actually leaving the building. Like, oh no, we're too late. And then
when they get there. When they get there,
they see a garbage truck leaving.
Sneak inside.
And then, so while Captain Mancini is breaking everybody out, Dodger and the bikers are putting like these chains on the gate and all that, and pulling the gate off of the bikes.
No, it was like the windows. Gate off the windows.
Gate off the windows.
Yeah, and then like he goes inside, helps like unlock some more. Dodger goes inside, helps him unlock some more gates, and gets everybody out.
And they put this big.
Everybody's not there.
They put this big build up on like, oh, we're gonna see their friends. I actually thought like, oh, we're gonna see more Garbage Pail Kids and all that kind of stuff because they keep saying like, oh, we need to save our friends.
And then Mr. Mancini was like, we were too late.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah, they're like
already crushed to death.
Captain Mancini says that they've already been crushed. That trash can, garbage truck we saw leaving had killed them, or at least one previous before that.
Yeah,
that
was.
And there's like the happiest music, the most whimsical music playing as he's saying that.
Captain, what about all the other children?
Yes. Remember the garbage truck? We were too late. Just go and check that everybody's out safely. Okay, come on, children.
It was very funny. And the Garbage Pail Kids, even though they were so mad at Dodger before for not being able to help find their friends, do not seem to bring this up or care at all.
Yeah, that their friends are not there. They're just glad to be alive.
Yeah.
They're just not good people.
They care about they really care about themselves. Like, even the gangster one tried sexually assaulting Valerie when he was doing like the snotty. It was either the snotty one or Valerie when he was doing like the doctor. He's like, I haven't finished your examination yet. And then she like slaps him.
So after they get saved, they go to the fashion show
because they want to crash it.
Because they're like,
it's our clothes, yeah.
And then they go to the fashion show and they start ripping the dresses right off the girls.
Oh, and yeah, I don't know if this was for the parents or what, but there is like multiple half-naked ladies running around.
I'm not sure. Like I think they were still in like bras and stuff. I didn't know.
That's what half
Stuff
naked,
like
so
that, but,
bras
like,
and panties, yeah.
Yeah. So like so it was.
There's half naked
it
ladies
was
running
just-
all
yeah, it was
around the
very,
set and all that for a kids movie.
Yeah.
And then I will say I will get that that the kids acting from I think it's Anthony something, or oh man, I think it's Anthony or something, or Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's something Mackenzie.
Yeah, something Mackenzie, the main character from this movie. Also, he's in Tuesday the 17th, which is a psych episode, because everything revolves around psych, comes full circle every time. Like,
yeah, and he's also in some other stuff. It's really good actually as an adult. As an actor.
Yeah, not as much work as you would think. He's a familiar face when I was looking at his
Like,
filmography.
yeah, as soon as I saw him as an adult, I was like, oh, I recognize that guy.
But I thought he
Very
did good with
memorable.
the scene when, like, I thought it was very weird. It's like he jumps off Wendy Winston's hand, Wendy Winston's hand, and he does a crotch jump like onto Juice, and he like gets on top of Juice and he starts like punching him.
It
but
was
like
weird.
when Captain Vincent pulls him off, he's like crying and all that kind of stuff. Like he looks visibly upset about what's happening.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's not worth it. He's like, yeah, he's not worth it and all that. And it's like, man, this kid's been traumatized about what's happened. But after the fashion show, they go back to the to Captain Mancini's shop, and the Garbage Pail Kids, he finally figures out the tune to get them back in. He closes his eyes and starts playing the tune, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and then the Garbage Pail Kids just sneak out.
And they sneak
out.
out.
Sneak out while he's playing the music.
And
with
his eyes are closed. The
And
kid,
then-
Dodger
and
tries
then-
to warn
then-
him,
and
but
then he actually falls over and like with his eyes still closed without noticing. Like if he gets sucked into the garbage pail.
yeah, no, like
I'd
the spell, like he accidentally, like the spell was for himself, I guess, by accident. Like he did it wrong, so like he got sucked into the pail himself.
But like only like he didn't actually get sucked in. He got his butt stuck in. Like,
Yeah.
He fell in it.
And I think it's before the scene or it's after, but the Tangerine comes back to the shop and says, "Hey, I'm sorry to Dodger. Like I still want to be friends. I still want to work together and all that." And Dodger's like, "No, I don't find you pretty anymore."
Look, maybe we can just be friends. Maybe we can just do fun things together.
No thanks. I don't think you're pretty anymore.
And he walks away from her, dropping that mic and all that, because he still has to, because she's
yeah.
no longer pretty on the inside, from the way he treated her friends. So the Dodger doesn't get the girl when she wanted him. It's a very Spider-Man moment,
Yeah,
And
it was weird.
The Garbage Pail Kids ride off into the sunset on their ATV that they rebuild because they're smart as fuck. They're baby geniuses.
It was like they had multiple ATVs. That
Yeah.
just rode away on. Yeah.
And that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There wasn't even bait for a sequel, so
No, well, obviously.
because the people didn't care. They didn't put any money into this project, and they didn't care if it sold anything. They had
Yeah, it was
license for the
not- it was
cards,
not
and
good,
that
yeah.
was it. I still think that they actually could make a movie today if it was animated. I feel like an animated garbage.
Sure, like I don't know. I
'Cause, like, a
now
person-
that I've watched this movie, like I don't think I would watch anything because it's just so bad.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
if it's like someone like you who's played the card game and
Well,
like,
it's
they
not really-
don't even know about. Like,
Yeah, it's
they
more of a
don't even know-
collectible
yeah,
thing for
yeah, well,
visuals.
it's-
There's no
yeah,
like
it's
actual like
collectible
card
or
game
whatever.
thing to it.
But yeah, they would.
The people in this movie are terrible, though. From Tangerine, who is a pedophile who's sexually manipulating a 14-year-old the entire time. The 14-year-old who's a stalker creep who is not letting alone this 18-year-old girl, or how old she is.
The three gangster goons.
The
or
three
whatever.
gangster goons, the Garbage Pail Kids themselves, are the worst people in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, Mr. Mancini.
Mr. Mancini's all right, but where are
Like,
this
you
kid's
don't really
parents?
see- yeah. Did we not see something?
We never see this kid's parents once.
Oh yeah,
This
that's
movie's
weird.
cheap. It only
Yeah,
has so many sets. They don't very go far.
Yeah, they didn't have it. Yeah, they didn't have any house. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's weird. Like you never see his parents.
Now, if I
Nothing.
can ask you, what is your favorite scene, Riley,
Favorite scene?
of the movie?
Fuck. That's bad. 'Cause it's not a good movie. But I guess I didn't like it at all. But I kind of chuckled at him winning against the guys in their second fight in the shop. But like not. I was like, that is horrible. Like, there's no way that he's be able to do this stuff because like of how bad he was before at fighting. But I thought like the actual things that he was doing to them was funny.
Yeah.
In the bad kind of way. It's like, that's so bad. It's so cliche. And
I think my favorite scene would be the joke that got me the most, which would be the alligator talking to Captain Mancini, being like, "You're an educated man, right? Read lots of books and all that." I think that is I think that gave Alligator the most amount of character and did solidify him as the leader of the group, giving him the sarcastic replies.
Yeah, I guess,
but I did think that that there was a writer that was having a foot fetish and was writing that into the film because the alligator is trying to bite feet the entire film.
Well, like, it could be a part of the character that he likes toes, like in the actual original thing. Maybe.
Yeah, well, like it could. Well, it wasn't until I know in the original '80s this wouldn't have happened, but when I was a kid, because I'm born 2000, the trading cards that I collected, they had when you turn to the back of them had like a gross book or something like that. It was like a Facebook parody, and you can see like the characters post and see like what their age was and stuff like that. And I never had alligator as a card, but I'm assuming if he did, there probably would be something there like ordering toe fingers or whatever for dinner tonight. Yeah, this movie is a very bad script with goons that are written terribly. They are as bad as the Shazam ones from 17, 18. The ones that are spitting on babies and all that kind of stuff. These ones are as bad. Like
there were bad guys that were spitting on babies.
Yeah, remember from Shazam there was like the teenage bullies that were beating up the kid.
Oh yeah, the teenage bullies. Yeah, they were so cliche.
Yeah, these were as cliche as like our now. Today's standards.
Yeah, they were pretty much. Yeah, they were. That's
every character. It was terrible. The effects were bad. I feel bad for the dwarves that were in the suits that had only 7-minute breathing time. They actually had to hold their breath practically because there was no room to breathe in that suit.
Yeah, like 7 minutes is dangerous.
Yeah, these properties like this in the 80s were not given the fair treatment they should have, and I'm glad that in a couple weeks from now we're going to be reviewing a more live.
Yeah, more. Correct and
recent with actual actors in a script. We're gonna be
a good quality one.
Yes, with Wedding Singer coming up in a couple weeks. So
yeah, so I look forward to that.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm looking at the camera. It's not on.
So thank you for joining us. I'm Hunter
and I'm Riley,
and this was Weekend Movies.
Why should we do something nice? Let's quit now, that's my advice. We can't do anything by working with each other. I ain't gonna work for free. Tell me what's in this for me.